Welcome in. It is episode number 5 of Beach and Ball. I am Ryan.
And I'm Lucas.
Yeah, we are back, and we're back and ready for more, as they say. I gotta say, I think we might just have to dive straight into the important stories, I guess, of the week. We're pretty loaded today because we have some previews of UC San Diego, UC Irvine, and UC Riverside, and all of them have been doozies to look at.
Yeah, that's for sure. There's a lot of really cool people from these colleges. I'm excited to talk about some.
I know there's a few that they got some good stories that go with them too. So do we want to start in, I guess, with the important stuff of the week?
Sure.
So there isn't going to be too much really to talk about in this because of the short kind of turnaround from our last one. I'll start off with the conference player of the week, who is AJ Mitchell from UC Santa Barbara. This week averaged 28.5 points, 5.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists. I would say pretty good in a 2-game span.
Yeah, that's awesome. Up there in points too, almost in the 30-point club.
Indeed. So he did this against wins over Fresno State and Northern Arizona. And I also was just doing my research on this. There's like 7-8 other people that were nominated for Player of the Week.
Jeez.
Now that I think about it, they probably just did one from each school, which probably would make a lot of sense.
Yeah. Has he been Player of the Week before? Do we know?
He has, but not this season. But
not this season.
He was twice before that. Both of them during his freshman year.
Okay, cool. So that's good. He's used to being in the spotlight a little bit. Hopefully he can keep that up.
Good to see that he's growing too, because he's hopefully even better than he was as a freshman.
Yeah, exactly. We love it. We love it when we get some recognition through team Player of the Week. And close to the mid or the end of the season, Ryan and I will have to come up with our all Big West team and see what we can come up with.
Our all ball team.
All ball.
So the other guys nominated, like I said, there was like a million of them. Deshaun Allen Ikens from Northridge, Justin Hahn from UC Irvine, Jaden Jones from Long Beach State, Max Jones from Fullerton.
Jeez.
Yeah, the list goes on because there's 3 more. Isaiah Moses from Riverside, Juan Munez from Hawaii, and Kobe Sanders, our guy from Cal Poly.
Nice.
The only other thing that I had in terms of big things is that we go from the, I guess, positive to a little bit of a negative, is that all the Big West schools that basically played a Power 5 school lost either by 1 point or in overtime.
I know those 1 point losses were killing me. They're so close. And then 2 overtimes against Oregon State for Cal Poly. But that just goes to show you how they can hang in there. And it's the different, 2 of those or whatever games finished with by 1 point, one play could have made the difference, one free throw.
They led at overtime. They led at halftime, by the way, too.
Yeah, they did. I saw that. That's crazy.
Yeah, they led at halftime. They lost by 7 up in Corvallis. UC San Diego lost the battle for San Diego, unfortunately, to the reigning national runner-up.
It's all right.
And even then, they led at halftime, too.
Wow, really? I didn't know that.
I think they led by like 1, and then UC San Diego State. There's so many freaking San Diegos in that area.
Yeah.
San Diego State, I think, then obviously ended up outscoring it by 2.
Right.
Then Riverside lost to UCLA by 1, which that would have been great if we could have gotten a big monumental one, because I mean they did it earlier with USC getting knocked off their perch.
Yeah, they're close. That's come tournament time. You're not going to want to see a Big West team on your side of the bracket, because they, even in early season like this, they can be just as dangerous as any other team, regardless of seed.
They're tough. That's the nicest way to put it. They are tough. They might be a tough out.
Yeah, tough out for sure. And we've been seeing more lower seed upsets in recent years. Like usually every year you can kind of bank on some 12s over 5s. Maybe you get one good 15 over a 2. And I think isn't it like back-to-back years that we've had a 16 beat a 1 seed or something like that.
I think it might be a 15 over a 2.
Something like that.
15 over 2, something like that.
All I know is that like just a few years ago, we had never had a 16 seed beat a 1 seed. Then who was it? UMBC beat Virginia, and the whole thing changed. And now we've got teams beating number 1s left and right. We just had Fairleigh Dickinson last year
take down Purdue.
Yeah, so even if one of our teams gets a 16 seed in the tournament, you're not going to count that as a gimme on your side of the bracket because they're just as dangerous.
Good thing is I think we'll probably at least get a 14. So one of those ones that it's more likely at least to get a win. Or you know what? Maybe we can get a 13 to 12. That'd be even better.
Yeah. I think that's a good spot.
As long as we don't have to be in that stupid play-in game.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, we have. Were there any other stories that you wanted to look at off the top?
Oh, one of my favorite things happened. Long Beach State is no longer a yo-yo team. They won consecutive games.
There we go.
So yeah, they beat Sacramento State, which they had the advantage anyway. I think Sacramento State's only won 2 or 3 games over the year, but they got that win over Long Beach State. Got that win over Montana State. And then followed it up with a win over Sacramento State. So they are riding high right now. And they have a favorable schedule coming up. So I think they're in line to put more numbers in the win column.
I hope so, because they were like a pretty highly favored team going into the season to win the conference.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, anything else?
Fullerton gets into the 100-point club.
So
I don't know if we said that earlier.
They waxed. Who was it that they were playing?
It was. I just had it pulled up. It was Stanton University.
Oh, Stanton, wherever that was.
Yeah, 102-52. So literally, Titans by 50.
Stanton University is Garden Grove, California.
Okay, cool. That's a neat name for a city. I like that.
It is let's see. The secondary campus is in Los Angeles. How shocking.
Wow.
But yeah, that's good for Fullerton. Yeah, that's what you got to do. You got to beat up on the teams that are weaker than you, and they surely did that.
Yep, and now we've got 3 teams out of 11 in the 100-point club this year so far.
Also, as we tape this, because this is a Tuesday, one of the schools we're going to talk about, UC San Diego, won their game today against Occidental.
Yes.
98-67. So a beat down.
Oh, 98. So close to getting I'm not sure if they're one of I forget who the other 2 teams are in the 100-point club, but they're so close to getting in the 100-point club right there.
And then one of my picks, right now it's going good. I took Cal State Bakersfield against Whittier, and they're up by 35 points with 15 minutes to go. So I think that's going to be safe. So thank you to my road runners for my folks over there at Bakersfield.
Yeah, that's good. How many points does Caleb Higgins have?
Well, we got to find out. Not enough, if you ask me.
Not enough. He's only got 17 points, but that means the ball is getting shared around more. We've got 3 out of the 5 starters are in double-digit points right now.
That's a beating. That's a beating. 15 minutes left. And they have 70. They can get to the 100-point club, and if they play their cards right.
Yep, they sure can. Let's do it.
So, speaking of doing it, do we want to dive into our our three schools that we're looking at today.
Yeah, which one did you want to start on first?
So we have UC Irvine, UC Riverside, and UC San Diego. How about we dive into my boys, the Zotters?
Yes, let's go.
Yes, together we Zot and UC Irvine, the Anteaters. So they are located obviously in Irvine, California. Oddly enough, I didn't even know this at the time, but I guess have driven past UC Irvine. Is when I was in California over the summer. A friend of mine went to Crystal Cove Beach, State Beach in California, and that apparently goes right past UC Irvine, which didn't know that at the time, but now knowing that, it's kind of cool.
That's crazy. Is that where you got the picture for our thumbnails at?
Yes, indeed. It is also the background that is right behind me at this moment.
Perfect.
That was also the first time I got to, actually, well, not really, the first time I got to be actually in the Pacific Ocean. Since first time was at Santa Monica Pier, which was like 2 days earlier.
Right.
So let's see, UC Irvine. The three schools that we're going to look at are also like very good academic institutions too.
Yeah, super prestigious. I read somewhere that UC Irvine was like top 10 in the nation for public universities.
Yeah, they are a public Ivy, so they're up there again. So I would say a pretty good start for that. They were the first Earth Systems. They had the first Earth Systems Science Department in the United States.
Wow.
Which is pretty. I mean, any of these schools that get to have the first of anything is pretty cool. And a lot of these Big West schools have a lot of firsts in the United States.
Yeah, and it's not just science either. There's a lot of good art coming out of these schools. We'll get to a few of them, but in my research of the three schools today, I was looking at famous alumni. There's a lot of writers out there too. So
a lot of writers,
a lot of science, a lot of writers. At the beginning of this, I thought we'd just be talking about actors all day, and there's been some of that, which is cool. That's fine and dandy. They are in California, but the amount of like astronaut alumni, the amount of science coming out of these schools, and the amount of art, it's just really incredible.
And it's a little callback to last week, our pudding guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, put him right up there next to the astronauts.
Yeah, the pudding guy it probably took about the same amount of work.
Yeah. Although
I guess he wasn't the one doing a lot of the work. It was the literal army that he brought in.
Yeah.
So let's see. UC Irvine, at least some of their faculty and their alumni, they've brought in 5 Nobel Prizes, 7 Pulitzers, and 6 MacArthur Genius Grants.
Wow.
So yeah, already pretty impressive, which also makes sense because, public Ivy. So UC Irvine was originally found out because of the baby boom.
Really?
Yeah, so I guess they needed to handle all of these kids that were eventually going to be coming in. Which also made sense because like the founding date for UC Irvine was like 1965 or something like that. So right around when all those kids would be about to go into school.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
So yeah, so like we mentioned, they're very, very big academic school since they are ranked number 33 in the country according to U.S. News and World Report.
Wow.
Which that also is counting the actual Ivies in there too, as in the private ones.
That's really impressive though. Top, what'd you say, number 33?
Yeah, they were number 33.
Dang, that's high up there.
I also found out some other fun things about them that they apparently have the largest game, according to Guinness, by the way. So this is real. The largest game of capture the flag.
Okay.
I don't know. Is that just based off of people? I would imagine.
Like distance. Like we've got to carry this flag for 6 miles.
Is it just like a really big flag?
Yeah. It's one of those at the stadium where you got to have like 30 people holding it.
That actually would be kind of fun, actually, if you had one that big.
Yeah, that's crazy. Why did they come up with all this like random fun stuff to do? Like, okay, we've got the biggest game of capture the flag. We talked about episode or two ago. We talked about, I think it was Fullerton or what was that school that had the elephant races?
Oh yeah, probably Fullerton, because that's how they got the
The mascot.
tusks.
Yeah. So yeah, we've got elephant races going on. We've got capture the flag. Who knows what's coming else?
I've been doing some research. We got some good ones coming up too.
Nice.
They also have the record for the largest game of dodgeball. I do want to know this. Were they using the actual like red rubber balls like in the movie Dodgeball, or were they using like the foam ones that they use now?
You know, well, it depends. What year? Do you know what year it was?
I didn't see what year it was.
Because I think if it's big and it's recent, I think it's foam. Just because of like a cost standpoint, I think those foam balls might be a little bit cheaper. But if it's older, it might be those red rubber ones. Everybody knows the sound I'm thinking of when it hits somebody, like the doing. Yeah.
So according to Guinness, this game of dodgeball, it was September 25th, 2012.
Oh, okay, cool.
So on my birthday in 2012,
yeah.
And it involved 6,084 people.
Jeez.
There's a blue team and a yellow team. So the blue team won.
Go blue.
Go blue. What were you about to say?
Well, I was like, how does that even work though? Like, were all 6,000 of those people like it had to have been outside. They're not playing this in a gym.
I would love to see the gym that you could do this in.
Right. Well, I'm like, do you go for lobs and like, you know, there's so much going on, somebody's gonna get hit if you just throw it into the mob. But then you're leaving yourself wide open for like 8 different people to catch that. So I don't know. And like then if you throw it far enough, who's the referee gauging like you're the one that definitely threw that ball, somebody caught it, you're out. Like that's a logistical nightmare in my opinion.
I'm just looking at some of the pictures of this right now. It looks like those things from like the Civil War that you just line up in rows and like everyone just gets shot.
Yeah, have you ever seen the show Community?
Yes.
Yeah, that reminds me of like the paintball episodes where it's like campus wide.
Crazy.
Yeah, no, like a campus wide dodgeball where they do it in the theme of like a Civil War documentary or something.
Oh yeah, there are 2 other world records that they hold too. One is for the world's largest, or the largest water pistol fight.
Okay.
I just want to know where you're getting all these. Is it actually like the small, like little handheld ones, or is it like the super soakers?
I think it's probably the small handheld ones, so that they can A, get enough, and B, I think the language matters here. Water pistol sounds really, really specific.
I'm looking at a picture of that too, and it looks exactly what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
Now this one actually looks like the Civil War because there are just like hundreds of people lining up. The other one, which doesn't quite sound as fun, is the world's largest pillow fight.
Okay.
I don't. Have you ever been in a pillow fight?
Yes.
They're very aggressive.
Yes, they can get aggressive, and then not all pillows are created equal. So like, I remember. So I went to this hotel and I was on a band trip. This was in Europe, and they had heavy duty pillows. Like these were the heavy, like Tempur-Pedic ones.
Yeah.
And I got hit in the back of the head, and I probably should have like gotten checked out for a concussion, but I did not.
I mean, I was on a speech and debate trip, and me and one other person just started beating one other person with just pillows.
That sounds like a hazing. That doesn't sound like a pillow fight.
To be fair, he was also very actively playing in this.
Okay.
So their mascot choices also disavow hazing, but
Yeah.
you might as well just throw that out there too.
Right.
So obviously their mascot is the anteater. They had a bunch of different choices, which I think you would be amused by. One of their first choices was obviously it was the road runner.
Uh-oh.
We have dueling road runners. Potentially. Their second one, the unicorn.
They had a chance to be the only unicorn mascot in the country.
Would they be the only mascot that is a fictional creature? Well, the Jayhawk isn't real.
Yeah, Jayhawks aren't real. Sorry, everyone from Kansas, you're not real. And even if they were, they wouldn't wear shoes.
Kansas isn't real.
Yeah, no, because I think it's either Dartmouth or Drexel is a dragon.
Yeah. Actually, I think Canisius is a griffin.
Yeah.
Although I think if they were the UC Irvine unicorns, that'd be pretty sweet. All their fans just like attaching like a unicorn horn to their head at all the games.
Yeah. Their alternates be like rainbow unicorns.
Oh geez. Now you're offending the Rainbow Warriors.
Oh yeah.
Another choice was the Seahawk. Actually, I like that one a little bit.
Actually, technically, Seahawks would be another mythical creature. Seahawks do not exist. The Seattle Seahawks mascot is based off of a stellar sea eagle that is
okay.
Mostly found in parts of Alaska, but mostly in Russia and Korea.
Oh, jeez.
They're the biggest eagles in the world.
Wow. How big are
they? I don't know exactly. I used to know this when I worked at the Louisville Zoo, but while you're looking at that, the other mascot choice they had was the golden bison. I like that one a lot too. It's just there's also a video that I found a while ago that was ranking the actual size of mascots based off of how much they weigh in real life. Oh no! Yeah,
so it'd just be the weight. So it'd just be the weight of a bison made out of gold.
Oh no! I think I saw something like that in like WKU was like number 1 or number 2 because they were like, we really can't determine the weight of a hill or the top of a hill.
I like that too because it was like, because they had the dragon, the UAB Blazer. That's a dragon. Weighed 1 more pound than the Crimson Tide, the elephant.
Oh no!
Everyone knows dragons weigh 13,001 pounds.
It's highly specific. They had to make weight and everything.
Oh jeez.
So get this: the Stellar Sea Eagle has a wingspan that can get over 6.6 feet long.
Oh my god! It's terrifying.
Yeah, that's a big ass bird.
It's a cool looking bird too. So obviously, since we talked about their mascot, we might as well have this. So the design for their mascot is based off of the Playboy bunny.
Really?
So a very erotic anteater.
Oh yeah, because I saw the anteater's got like huge ears or something like that. I like you can get this on Amazon. There's like a pack. I almost bought it. I haven't yet. I'm probably gonna pull the trigger. But you can get like older UC Irvine stickers for like laptops or cups or whatever, and it's got one of the old anteaters with the big long ears, and it's got its like tongue shooting out, and at the end it says Zot. It's really cool.
Oh, that's awesome. Do you have any other random facts on UC Irvine by chance?
Let me look. Have we talked about? Are we just going for random facts right now, or are we going into famous alumni?
I'm about to go into the alumni, but if you have any other good facts in there too.
I think the only thing I had written down was majors to look out for in UC Irvine. We talked about their public Ivy, so you're going to get a good education no matter what. But apparently they have a really good like cancer research and uh, neuroscience department.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. So I do have some of their alumni.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll start off with first more astronauts. Tracy Caldwell Dyson.
Nice.
She took I saw she took like a stuffed anteater into space, like
Oh,
a
really?
stuffed animal toy.
I love that. That's so cool.
I wonder if they could get an actual anteater into space. Probably not a good idea.
It's like, so that reminds me of this meme I saw where they put a diving helmet on a dog, and they made sure it was sealed so the dog would be safe, but then they took the dog deep sea diving with them, and the captions were all like, that dog's gonna have so many weird stories to tell its friends. I can't imagine an anteater going into space and being like, I saw cosmic horrors beyond my comprehension. It goes on forever.
Oh man. Let's see. The next famous alumni I found, Greg Louganis, who is a Olympic diver. Also one of the more famous Olympic divers too.
That's cool. Was he an Olympian?
He was
Okay.
indeed.
Okay.
Comedian John Lovitz. He was on. Oh, I forget what he had a relationship with, or like a close like friendship with Phil Hartman, the other comedian too. Frank Sherwood Rowland, he was a professor there, but he discovered the harmful effects of CFCs on the atmosphere.
Oh wow.
Scott Brooks, who was the former coach of the Oklahoma City Thunder, and that was I think that was he was the coach of them when they had Durant, Westbrook, and Harden.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I have him written down too. He won an NBA. It's Scott Brooks, right?
Yes, Scott
Okay.
Brooks.
Yeah, he won an NBA championship with the Rockets, and he's currently an assistant coach for the Portland Trailblazers.
That's a rough spot to bash. Well, Trailblazers aren't too bad right now, at least.
No, I haven't really been keeping up with them ever since they lost Dame to Milwaukee, but
yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't really follow the NBA basically until Christmas starts.
Yeah.
Let's see. Next one, we have Mike Powell, who has the world record for the long jump.
Oh wow.
Which that one he did it in 1991, and it is still standing. And the last person I had is Carl Cheffers, who is an NFL referee.
Oh, that's neat.
And he has refereed the Super Bowl.
Did it say which Super Bowl?
That
way I know if he made a bullshit call or not.
Yeah, I think he made a couple. I think he made a couple more recent ones.
Not bad, not bad.
Let's see. Carl Cheffers. He was the alternate referee in Super Bowl 30. I can't tell what that is. No, I used to be 49.
Okay.
And then so that was, who was that? That was New England and Seattle when they didn't give the ball to Marshawn Lynch.
Nice. Okay, so yeah, people are mad at that Super Bowl, but not because of the referee.
Yeah, it's not his fault.
He's safe. He's safe.
And he was also the referee he was the actual referee for Super Bowl 51.
51.
Something happened in that game. It involves the score, I believe 28-3.
Oh no.
Yeah. So
yeah,
not great.
I guess I should have recognized that one. Yeah, I can't read Roman numerals to save my life. I think Super Bowl 50, wasn't that the one Peyton Manning won with the Broncos?
Yes, I want to say.
That's the only one I remember because it was a big one. It was 50.
Let's see, Super Bowl 50, he was the referee of 55, Super Bowl 55, which that was Tom Brady in a Buccaneers uniform.
Oh wow.
And Shepherds was also apparently selected to be the referee for the most previous Super Bowl. So pretty good
impressive.
run there from Sheffers.
Yeah.
Do you have any more people on there? Otherwise, I was going to dive into the basketball.
No, so I got I did have Scott Brooks, but then I got two people who are they're co-creators of TV shows and or directors of movies.
Okay.
So we got David Benioff, which apparently is a stage name, or not really a stage name, it's professional name. He is the co-creator of the Game of Thrones show on HBO. It's Game of Thrones was written by
that.
George R.R. Martin, and David Benioff and another guy came together and turned it into the HBO show. So they took the book source material and made the show. And then we have this guy. This guy's got a funny name. So his
oh geez,
his full name is Joseph McGinty Nickel, and he goes by This is on me for not looking this up beforehand to see how it's pronounced. So I don't know if it's MCG or McG, but that's what he goes by, MCG or McG. And he is the director of a few movies. I had them pulled up.
Oh, I saw the first one. I already like the first one.
Yeah, Charlie's Angels, We Are Marshall in 2006. He's the director and producer of that one.
It's pretty good.
Terminator Salvation.
Wasn't that like the worst Terminator movie too?
Probably. There's so many Terminators, I can't keep up with them. I think I've only seen like the first two. I've probably seen the other ones and then just don't remember them because they're that like underwhelming.
Yeah, for the people at home, I believe it's on the set of Terminator Salvation. Christian Bale goes on like an all-time just like yelling at people moment. Yeah, look it up. It is very funny. Who else did you have?
Let's see. I'm looking at his TV right now. Nothing that I've watched. And then yeah, that was it. I just had the three: David Benioff, McG, and Scott Brooks. So we can go into basketball now.
Actually, just from looking at this a second ago, he also was a executive producer on the show Supernatural.
Oh, okay, cool. I do like that show.
I haven't seen it, but I've only heard like good things about it.
So I haven't finished it, but I started it, and from what I've seen so far, I like it. But I know it's one of those that's got a lot of episodes, so I have a lot of catching up to do.
All righty, so let's dive into the basketball, I guess. So their head coach is Russell Turner. He is in his 13th season as the head man of the Anteaters. Before that, he was an assistant on the Golden State Warriors. Or at least is his most notable spot.
That's crazy.
Pretty good start to things if you were in the NBA and now you're a head coach of a college team. Their best season, I would say, is 2019. They beat Kansas State in the NCAA tournament.
Heck yeah.
And then lost to Oregon the next round.
Mm.
So some could say that the Pacific Northwest is still coming after us.
Yeah. Jeez, can't get away from them.
I know. I kind of thought about that a little bit when I was looking at this. And I was like, we just can't get away from these people. Last year, let's see. Oh, wait. Okay, so they won the regular season title 8 times, and they would have made 3 NCAA tournament appearances. I think it's either this team or it might be. Actually, no, I think it is this team. They would have made the tournament in 2020, but I heard something happened during that year.
Yeah, everybody took their basketballs and went home.
Yeah. Let's see. So last year they came tied for first. They did not win their conference tournament.
Mm.
And then they lost in the first round of the NIT. I believe to Oregon.
Oh no. Jeez. So they're going to be looking for revenge. They're going to be looking to get some postseason action this year.
And the way things are looking, they are they look like they are in line to get it.
Yeah, they're doing really well. I believe they're 6-3 right now.
Yeah, they are very good. Very, very good.
Yeah, UC Irvine's, again, one of those teams right now and come tournament time, you're not going to want to see them on your side of the bracket.
Also, our decision of the loser has to get the winner shirt of our gambling picks.
Mm-hmm.
My winning shirt is still a shirt that says "Surfs Up" at UC Riverside at UC Irvine and has an anteater on a surfboard.
I love that. That's such a great design. Whoever did that, thank you so much.
It's a very wholesome shirt, which I kind of enjoy.
Yeah, I love that.
So they pretty much have their entire team returning from last season, and that they have 11 returning players.
Jeez.
So with that, I would assume that is one of the big reasons why they are favored to win the conference. Little did they expect the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors to be 6-1.
Yeah, that's crazy. They're currently Hawaii and UC Irvine are starting to look like the teams to beat. Mixed in with some other teams that are having some success right now. UC San Diego is kind of falling off. They started off really hot and then they've dropped a few, but I think come conference play, they're going to be heavy hitters as well.
I think they're saving all their wins for when they're eligible for the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I hate that for them.
So let's see. They pretty much have 4 established starters already. So Justin Hahn, who we mentioned earlier, who is up for Conference Player of the Week. Devin Tillis, Andre Henry, Pierre Cockrell II. And then the last one has basically been between 2 guys. Bent Lupton, our guy.
Yeah.
His awesome name. And or Carter Welling is the other guy that they're pretty much in between. Right now, realistically, they're about 12 deep, as in they're playing about 12 guys pretty regularly. As we know with basketball in general, that number is going to go down as some guys are going to stand out and you're going to need more minutes.
Yep.
I
still don't see Bent Lupton in the lineup anymore, so I don't know. The one downside to making this podcast for the listeners out there is that because we're kind of far away and because not a whole lot of people are talking about the Big West, I genuinely cannot find up-to-date info about Bent Lupton and if he's been injured or what. I found some stuff about an injury he had last year, and that's all I'm finding. So I don't need to know about last year. I want to find out this year, but he hasn't been in the starting lineup for a few games, and I want to know if he's okay and when we can expect to see him on the court again.
We need to get our hands on some injury reports.
Yeah, I even looked at their the UC Irvine's website, and it said no injuries to report. So I was like, he's not in the lineup. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, he's like the Cincinnati Bengals not disclosing Joe Burrow's injury.
Right.
So they have basically 3 pretty much reliable scorers: Justin Hahn, Devin Tillis, Andre Henry. So which not a bad problem to have is 3 guys that can score the ball.
Right, exactly.
Because especially college basketball, you can never have enough quality scorers. And those 3 are pretty much going to be the reason. If they win the conference, it'll probably be those 3 that are leading the way. So yeah, they are currently 6-3. Their biggest win is in fact over the Fighting Bronny Jameses.
Right.
Yeah. They've also beaten Toledo and Pepperdine for the record too.
It looks like their next game is this Saturday on the 9th They get a chance to avenge UC San Diego because they have to go play San Diego State as well. This is a 25th ranked San Diego State. UC Irvine will be 6-3 San Diego State unless they have another game in between these matchups. They're currently sitting at 7-2.
They got to take a short little trip down. I guess that's Highway 5. And then I also see that they have one last game, at least one last kind of big non-conference game. They play New Mexico in the pit. Do you have anything else on UC Irvine?
No, so far, UC Irvine, one of my favorite schools to talk about, just because I love the hand sign. If there are any other schools with hand signs or fun stuff like the Zot, let us know so that we can learn about it and show other people.
The hand gestures.
But yeah, no, this I think is super cool.
It's pretty unique too.
Yeah, and their mascot's name is Peter the Anteater.
Yeah, he's been. I think he won like the NCAA like mascot challenge of like who has the best mascot.
Really, that's crazy. Yeah, if you look at pictures of him, he's got like a stupid long neck, and I love that. I thought he was like a messed up giraffe at first, and then I was like, oh no, that's the Anteater. So yeah, once again, if we can get some college basketball games and get a mascot matchup version or like feature in the game, yeah, I would love. I'm definitely first game I'm playing is Peter the Anteater versus Ole the Gaucho.
Oh man, I also would just like to see Peter the Anteater go up against like the Stanford tree.
Yeah,
only if like all the things on the Stanford tree move.
Right. Yeah.
Which I would just be very confused.
Right. Is it just like two human arms that come out and shoot the ball, or is it branches?
Yeah. Is the anteater just like shooting it off of it, using it like its really long nose and mouth?
Yeah, we can't all be lazy like Kansas State and their mascot, which is like just a human body with a wildcat head.
I think that's just efficient costuming, brother.
Yeah.
Why get a whole costume when you can just have the person's head? Actually, the leprechaun is the laziest costuming.
That or the mountaineer.
Oh, the mountain. You just have to grow a beard.
Yeah.
And have a cap gun. Do we want to go into our next school?
Yeah. Who do you want to talk about now?
I'll let you pick. Do you want UC Riverside or UC San Diego?
Let's go with Riverside because
I like that because I had that next on my list.
We did get some love on our socials. We got a follower. I won't say their name out of respect for their privacy, but we did get a follower from UC Riverside. So we're happy. Our podcast is spreading, and I'm excited about it. So we'll give them a little nugget of gift by talking about Riverside next.
That makes me happy, actually, that we actually have someone who is at that school that actually has somehow found this.
Yeah, that's great. And that's what we want. We want, like I said earlier, there's a lack of information and people talking about the beauty of the Big West. And so we just want to fill that gap for everybody.
Also, if you work in the Big West credential office, I will one or both of us will happily travel to the Dollar Loan Center.
Oh yeah.
For the conference tournament, or really to any of these games in general.
Right, we'll be there. We'll be loud.
Yes, we have no problem being loud.
No, we've got a great track record of that already in our time in college. So we can definitely we have great resumes to bring.
So UC Riverside, it is located in Riverside, California, which is, I guess, considered greater Los Angeles. So in that neighborhood of LA. So it's first started apparently as the University of California Citrus Experimentation Station. That's a very good rhyme, too.
I love that. Experimentation Station.
They had apparently the first navel orange trees planted in the United States were in Riverside, California.
Watch out, Florida.
In 1873.
Wow.
Actually, yeah, heads up Florida. Because just the thing that like Florida doesn't even like serve orange juice at uh the first exits anymore.
They don't?
I don't think
That
they
was
do.
like,
I think that was a COVID casualty.
no. That was like one of the best parts of Florida whenever we would drive there. Except one time it looked orange. I'm convinced it was just warm water that they had put orange food coloring in. I thought it
Oh,
was orange juice and it tasted awful. And I was like, no thanks. No
oh,
thanks.
that just sounds disgusting.
Yeah, no, it most of the visitor centers in Florida are kind of just like I know they're supposed to be like roadside attractions to make you like look at all the other tourist activities that you can do in Florida, but like every time you stop, there's always like live alligators and orange juice and stuff like that. It's a fun gimmick, and I'm sad that's over. Hopefully, they
What
didn't
a
take away the live baby alligators.
what a transition would be from live alligators to just something so
Orange
wholesome
juice.
like get a cup of orange juice.
Yeah. Instead of like feeding the alligators, you just like pour orange juice into their enclosure.
Oh man.
Oh no, they love it. They love it.
Yeah, you just pull an orange off of a tree and throw it at an alligator.
Swamp puppy's favorite snack.
Oh jeez. So it lies. So where UC Irvine is, it lies at a mountain I had not heard of, but it's interesting to know it. The Box Springs Mountain.
Box Springs Mountain. The lesser known cousin of the Mattress Mountain.
Yes. Also in terms of mountains that are named after furniture, there's also Table Mountain in Cape Town, South Africa.
Table Mountain.
I've
Let
seen
me
Table
climb
Mountain.
Lazy Boy Mountain.
Yes. There. I mean, in New York, there are the Adirondacks. So let's see. Other things they pioneered research. Given that they have a pretty agricultural background, they have research in pest control, biological pest control, and growth regulators.
Oh, that's really cool.
So their nickname is the Highlander because of the campus's location. So kind of makes sense. So in 2013, apparently they built the first new medical school in California in 40 years.
Wow, that's impressive.
So at least pretty recent too, which given that all these schools, it's a good thing to have a good medical school.
Yeah, I think UC Riverside is also up there in terms of academic prowess, and is in one of the top like 50 or 100 public schools in the nation. So they're like we said earlier with UC Irvine, you're going to get a good education there, and it just goes to show you they're willing to do new programs, new medical schools. And I have written down here that so UC Riverside was the first UC, so the first University of California campus to offer Native American history as a PhD.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't. Who would have guessed UC Riverside for that?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I would have thought a place probably like Oklahoma or something like that.
And well, Oklahoma may have had one before them. They are the first.
Oh,
UC
first in California.
campus.
Oh,
Yeah. So
that makes sense.
Kind of like how we've got all these Cal State campuses, and then we've got all these UC campuses, and so that's what we're contending with right here is the collective UC. Much like the main Cal is UC Berkeley. This is UC Riverside. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, earlier when you mentioned the mascot, so the mascot's name is Scotty Highlander.
Scotty Highlander,
and it's really cool. I love the old school logos of like the animal head with like the tilted hat. They have one like that too. It's a bear with like a tilted hat, and he's playing the bagpipes. It's incredible.
Oh, I looked at a picture of that. The mascot the bear mascot looks like he's kind of on something.
For real.
I don't know. I don't know what it looks like he's on. He looks like he's been doing something.
Oh.
Bishop.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, you're looking at him?
Yeah, I'm looking at the eyes. The eyes will pierce right into your soul.
And apparently are apparently piercing something else. Like we meant. Oh yeah, like you mentioned with the academic thing. Yeah, they were ranked 76th in the United States.
Nice.
The top 100 for these schools. One of their libraries on their campus, the Rivera Library, holds the largest collection of science fiction, horror, and fantasy literature in the world.
Really? That's right up my alley. I love that stuff.
I guess it's not technically a horror. It's more, I guess, a psychological thriller. I guess I would say my favorite is Silence of the Lambs.
Nice. What were some of the other genres?
Science fiction and fantasy.
Science fiction and fantasy. One of my favorite authors, really big into the science fiction category, Michael Crichton.
Oh yeah, he's a big one.
You'll know that name from Jurassic Park. He wrote Congo, The Andromeda Strain. I just got a book not too long ago. It's less science fiction-y and more fantasy / historical fantasy, but it's called Pirate Latitudes. It's about pirates.
Oh, that's pretty cool. What's the first rule of pirate code?
Never make another pirate cry.
The other thing I noticed too is they also have a thing on their campus called the Barn, which is a live music venue.
Okay,
and it's mainly for like up and coming bands too. Two of the bands they've had there, one of them has been mentioned on the show before, which is No Doubt.
Okay, I love it. I'd like to go see a show at the Barn. That sounds like so much fun. That would have been a great place to like hang out. In college, going to hang out with your friends, going to see a live show. I love live music.
Me too. The other big band that they had there was Radiohead.
Okay.
Yeah, they've had some like pretty legit bands there too.
'Cause I'm a creep.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, isn't "Creep" their biggest song?
Yeah, I think so. At least they probably got some others. It's the funniest song, that's for sure.
Yeah. Do you have anything else about them? Because I'm about to go into some of their alumni.
No, I think their color scheme is kind of like a bluish gold, and I feel like that's common amongst the Big West because like UC Irvine to a lesser extent, they're kind of blue and gold, but their blues, I'll give it to them, their blues a little darker. Bakersfield is like blue and gold. Riverside's blue and gold. I think UC San Diego is some version, maybe more so gold than blue, but yeah, there's a lot of love for the blue and gold in the Big West.
Which I guess makes sense given their parent university wears blue and gold.
Yeah.
So some of their famous alumni, baseball pitcher Joe Kelly.
Yeah, I saw that. I love Joe Kelly.
Yeah, the famous, one of my favorite meme pictures, dude, the pouty face. I think that was right after, or no, that might have been right before he then just like cursed out an entire team and told them to fight him.
Yeah, it was great. Like, I don't really have his stats up, so I don't know like his prowess as a pitcher, but like as a teammate, I would definitely want Joe Kelly on my team, mostly because I'd be too afraid of him if he was on the other team.
Oh yeah, and he's a psycho.
Yeah.
Anna Marie DeMars, that is Ronda Rousey's mother.
Wow. Okay.
Troy Percival, he was a pitcher. He's the all-time save leader for the Anaheim Angels.
Wow.
Or California Angels, whichever one you want to call them. Let's see, who else do we have here? Speaking of the Angels, Ipe Mizuhara, he is Shohei Ohtani's translator.
I love that. I didn't know he had a translator. Is Shohei Ohtani like? I know he's from Japan, but I thought he could speak English at least a little bit.
I guess not well enough that he can.
Maybe for like press conferences and stuff.
Which, I mean, I think Ichiro had a translator his entire career too.
Really? I guess if it works, it works.
And then one other person I had who was kind of interesting is his name is Tim D. White. He's a researcher. He did a lot of his work with Lucy, Australopithecus, which was at least one of the oldest known hominins.
Oh, wow.
Which I think did you ever get shown that in science class of like what the full like skeleton of what Lucy was?
Maybe if I did, I do not remember. Most of my high school science was kind of all over the place. I remember taking biology, and my teacher, loved that guy, but we really did not focus on animals at all. He really liked trees. I think he was like a botany. Yeah, I think he was like a botany major or something. So like all we did was talk about trees and plants and hardly talked about animals at all.
Did he say how neat they were?
Yeah. Our final in that class was we had to collect X amount of leaves from different trees and like label them and like say how we know it's from that tree and stuff like that. I got an A on that thanks to my stepdad who works in a forestry business.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Cheater.
So, well, I did the work. I got to go out with him in the forest. But yeah, it was a lot of trees.
Wow, it's so many trees. Do we want to get into the basketball side of things, or did you have any other alumni to talk about?
No, I was geeking out about Joe Kelly.
Joe Kelly. So their head coach is Mike Mapayo. He's in his 4th season, and so before that, he was the assistant coach at Columbia and Campbell.
Okay.
You know what the mascot for Campbell is?
Is it a camel?
It is indeed a camel.
Okay, cool. That's like there's a high school here in Kentucky. It's Campbell County. They're also the Camels, the fighting Camels.
I also like the Paducah Tillman Blue Tornado.
That's funny.
I forgot Bowling Green is the fighting purples. There's
really?
The fighting color purple.
Jeez, they love the book so much that they're like, yeah, this is our mascot now.
Yes.
And then somebody was like, copyright, so we can't have the book as our mascot. So we just got to choose like the generic color purple.
Mike Mapayo, other interesting thing about him too is that he is the first coach in Division I that is of full Asian heritage.
Wow.
So UC Riverside almost had to disband their entire athletic department because of COVID.
Oh no.
And how much strain it was putting on like the school.
That's awful.
Luckily, they did not have to do that. Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking about them right now.
That's good. I hope. Yeah, I'm glad that they at least were able to survive long enough to get picked up after COVID and everything and survive.
Their best season overall was 1995. They were the Division II runner-up. So the runner-up of the Division II March Madness.
Not bad.
They have never made the NCAA tournament. We gotta change that.
Yeah, we gotta change that.
In due time, Riverside, you will be there.
Gotta get some postseason postseason action.
Last season they finished 3rd in the conference.
That's
with
close.
A 22-12 record.
Wow,
so
that's close.
They can be good. They are returning most of their team from last year because they're returning 9 guys.
Okay.
Nothing really on the transfer front, like no one from like a major school who had transferred in. Right now, currently 4-5 on the season. We already mentioned their very close loss to UCLA.
Mm-hmm.
Coming up, they only got about 2 more major non-conference games. They have to go to Pullman to play Washington State. So I guess one of the Pac-2, and then they had to play at Idaho.
Idaho's pretty good, honestly.
They are.
They I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but Idaho just beat a Big West team just the other day or last week, I think. So Idaho is not to be messed with. So if they can pull out a win against Idaho, that'll be a good win.
Didn't they also just? Oh yeah, they did have that not scandal, that true crime thing not that long ago.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Oh yeah, they beat Cal Poly 85-70. But you can't win there because Northridge beat them.
Yeah, that's good.
Beat them up there too. Let's see. So yeah, they've also, the other thing about UC Riverside is that they've actually had like a pretty hard non-conference too, because they have had to go to Utah. They lost.
Yep.
They played North Carolina. They lost, and they played the dreaded Portland, and lost.
Yeah. Man.
So no shame in losing to them.
No, it hurts by putting more losses or more numbers in the loss column, but iron sharpens iron. And if you want to play like the good teams, you have to play with the good teams. And I think that will really give Riverside a mental advantage, if nothing else.
Which I mean, I hope is the case, because I would love to see them in the NCAA tournament.
Exactly.
And our friend who followed us on the Instagram, I would love to see him be happy.
Yeah, thank you. Tell your friends.
Yes, tell all of your friends. Actually, tell people who even aren't your friends. Just tell people in general.
Yeah. Hey, all you people.
Let's see. So some of their key players, I wrote down a couple of them. So Isaiah Moses, who is up for one of the 500 people who was up for Player of the Week, and Will Tattersall. Those two are probably the most consistent starters that UC Riverside has had this year. Realistically, they're going to be probably about 9 to 11 players deep. And obviously, as is the case, hopefully, knock on wood, hopefully nobody gets injured, but that number is going to go down.
Right.
As is the most common thing in basketball, is that the number of players that are actually going to be making meaningful contributions is going to go down.
Yeah, they did just come off of a win against North Dakota, which is really impressive because North Dakota was they're 6-3 now. So they're playing against teams with good records and coming away with the win. And I think that shows after having to play the North Carolinas of the world and all that when they play a more sizable opponent close, where they're not biting off a little more than they can chew, they're coming away with those wins.
They also keep me pretty active on the socials because they are like particularly good about posting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 other players that I put on here too. Kyle Owens, Kyle Grishti. I don't know. He's Griscti. So close enough. And Barrington Hargris, or at least the other 3 guys that are probably going to be more of the consistent kind of bigger name guys.
Right.
So obviously a couple of things that they need to improve. If they want to be at least a serious threat, they have to at least improve on their 3-point percentage. If they want to be a real serious contender, which right now they're only shooting about 31% from the field, 31% from 3. So that number is obviously going to have to go up.
Yeah, and once they do work on that number, that will make in the paint baskets easier too, because it'll force the defense to spread out more.
Oh yeah, the more you can spread the floor, the more all that stuff below the basket gets a lot easier.
Yeah, the lanes start opening up. So Definitely, when it rains, it pours. So if you can start to make it sprinkle from behind the 3-point line, you'll find more availability under in the paint.
And that's pretty much why stuff like that is basically going to be the reason why Moses and Hargris are going to be the two people that we're going to have to, UC Riverside at least, is going to have to rely on if they want to make some noise coming up. Do you have anything else on UC Riverside before we get to the UC San Diego?
No, I really like Riverside. I like their mascot, and I think it's unique. There's a lot of unique mascots in the Big West, but so I read this story about how they wanted a bear mascot to contend with UCLA because they were the Bruins.
Yeah.
And so that's where they get the bear. But then the Highlanders come in and they mold that to the bear, give him a kilt and playing the bagpipes. And I think that's the really unique part, is like taking something that is generic and kind of like underwhelming, and then shaping it into what you're good at or what you're known for. And that's why it comes out on top. So I think, because you know how many tiger mascots out are there, but how many unique tigers are there? They're all the same, kind of. It's just which one, they're all just wearing different jerseys. But this bear stands out from the other bears by having that Scotty Highlander sprinkle of seasoning on him.
Just Scotty Highlander. It's
Yeah.
such a name. Are they culturally appropriating by calling him Scotty?
I don't know. I want to know. I don't want to give ideas to their rivals or anything, but there's a good a good punk song that you could play if you really want to get under the skin of some UC Riverside fans. I love the song "Scotty Doesn't Know." Have you ever seen that movie Euro Trip?
I have, yes.
Yeah, no, great movie. That I thought the band in that movie was the one that actually made that song. That is not the case, but it was a good headcanon for me.
Oh, jeez. Was that all you think on UC Riverside?
Yeah, that's all I got.
So I guess we might as well get to our last one. UC San Diego, the Tritons. I actually like that mascot a lot, is the Tritons.
Yeah, mascot's name I believe is King Triton.
Yeah, wasn't King Triton in SpongeBob? Wasn't he like in the movie?
I think that's King Neptune. Or
was that Neptune? Okay.
There might have been a Triton in there too. There's been a lot of renditions of that.
Because he had the daughter that was voiced by like Scarlett Johansson or something.
Yeah.
The other cool thing I noticed too is that outside of UC San Diego's gym, they have a like gold statue of King Triton.
Really? That's
complete with holding like the trident and stuff.
That's so cool.
So in the past, UC San Diego has been considered a public Ivy to continue the trend of these schools being good academics.
Yeah. Okay, I think we have to jump on this. There's a official Instagram account for King Triton.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
There is?
Yeah.
I'm saying that like someone hasn't already done that.
Yeah, the King Triton UCSD official Instagram account for UCSD's King Triton. When was their last? They're not very active. Their last post was 2022. So hopefully we can convince them to get that content up.
Also, I was wrong about the SpongeBob movie. Apparently, that was just King Neptune in the movie. It's very confusing because they just had a guy who had red hair and an orange beard in both of them, except the one in the movie was bald.
Yeah.
So where UC San Diego is, it is obviously in San Diego, but it is in La Jolla.
La Jolla.
It is also the southernmost school in the university of the UC schools, which also probably not that surprising given where San Diego is.
Yeah, I don't. Is there a town between San Diego and the border? I don't.
I don't know.
There might be like a legit border town, but I'm not sure.
At least none that we would know right away. Where it is, so it was ranked number 28 in U.S. News and World Report.
Wow.
So, yeah, another one that is very good. In the fall of 2022, they had 150,000 people apply. Only 31,000 got accepted.
Jeez. That's crazy. That's a large number of people not getting accepted. Yeah, I was looking at one of their major like programs or majors is biomedical engineering.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, so lots of health stuff going on. That sounds really interesting.
Do you remember this case that happened like a couple of years ago? It might have been a year or two ago. But Kentucky sent like every single person who applied like "you're accepted" letter when they meant to send it to like only like a few people.
Yeah, I do remember that. That was, I can't imagine getting an acceptance like that and then them taking it like whoopsies.
Ooh, sorry.
We goofed.
Oh, actually, I think I do remember what it was too many people accepted, so they had to have like kids stay in like a hotel.
JK, sorry. We thought some of you guys would have better options.
Oh, we thought some of you were going to say, we thought some of you were just going to say no. So UC San Diego apparently had that happen. They were going to accept 17,000. They sent acceptance letters to 47,000 people. That's
a big discrepancy. Wow.
Yeah, it's only 30,000 people.
Jeez. Somebody's on the Google Sheets right now, and they're like, "Be very careful what you put in."
Oh my gosh. Like the barn at UC Riverside, we also have the Che Cafe at UC San Diego, which also is like apparently is like an underground like music scene. Apparently,
okay, that sounds fun.
Get ready for some of these people who have like performed there. We're gonna start off strong. We're gonna go with Jimmy Eat World.
Yes.
Billy Corgan. Did Jimmy Eat World put out any other songs other than The Middle? Probably not. Not that I can think of.
Not off the top of my head, no.
Chumbawamba.
I get knocked down, but I get up again.
Also might just be like the greatest like track listing of a song is Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba.
Yeah.
Which also I don't think very many people know that the name of that song is Tub Thumping.
I know that's like out of context. Like I don't know what the draw is for that. Like what are they thumping the tub about?
Yeah. Are they sitting in the tub and thumping? Yeah. Or are they just in the bathroom and just like hitting the bathtub?
Yeah. That's how they came up with the song. The guy was in the tub, just like playing drums on the tub, and he's like, "Oh, I think I got something good here."
This could have been very bad, but if it's tub thumping, he gets knocked down. Does that mean he hits the tub?
Yeah.
And he gets right back up.
Incredible. That's why you gotta have the non-stick or the non-slick mats in your tub.
Yeah. So otherwise it'd be I get knocked down and then I bleed all over the bathroom floor.
Jeez.
They also have another good festival there too called the Sun God Festival.
That's interesting.
Also very good name for a music festival.
Yeah, that does sound pretty neat.
This one they've also had some like very big names perform at it. Let's see. We'll start off with Macklemore.
Wow. Is he even making music anymore?
I don't know. Is he just like?
Yeah, because
Has he done anything since whatever it was, Thrift Shop?
Thrift Shop? It was Thrift Shop, and there was another one with the music video had like a drum and bugle corps almost in it because it had a really good low brass section, and that's why I really liked the song. And it was just like those two songs, and then he bounced. He's like, I'm done making music. Or I don't know if he still made music after that. I was just like, where'd you go?
I'm trying to think of that guy. I think that guy Ryan Lewis. Well, Ryan Lewis is a producer.
That's cool.
So let's see. Who else was on in this? Oh, My Chemical Romance.
Nice.
T.I. Drake. He owes us a concert.
I'll never forgive Drake for promising us a concert and then bailing.
I know. The stupid NCAA ruined it. Wiz Khalifa and Kendrick Lamar. Okay. So like a pretty good lineup for
a lot of good music.
The other thing that I saw there is that it apparently like attracted like 20,000 people. So like it is actually like a real deal music festival.
Jeez, see, I've never been to a music festival before. I really want to go to one.
I know like the closest one, at least to us, I think is Bonnaroo, or Lollapalooza.
Yeah, Lolla's in Chicago, I think.
Bonnaroo is in Tennessee.
Is it really?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I know like Louisville has Louder Than Life.
Miami has Rolling Loud.
There's one in Cincinnati that I can't remember, but Lexington's got Railbird, but that's mostly if you're into like folk or country or bluegrass.
That'd be given its name, that'd be appropriate.
Yeah.
We talked about the world records earlier. This one's kind of on par with those. So they do a thing apparently at UC San Diego called the pumpkin drop or the watermelon drop.
Okay.
Which is what it sounds like. So how it started was I guess they were doing this as part of I think it was like a physics question about what would happen if you drop like a watermelon and another object from at the same height at the same time.
Oh yeah, probably like it was probably something small to show that they like fall at the same rate.
Yeah. So so this was like of course this happened in like the 1960s because apparently that's like when everything happened.
Yeah.
For like every tradition is like the 1960s.
Big decade for colleges, that's for sure.
So they drop a watermelon from the top of Ravel's Urey Hall, and they measure the distance from where it hits the ground to the farthest piece of whatever gourd-shaped fruit is dropped from the top of this building.
Oh, wow.
So apparently they actually do make a big deal about this because apparently they nominate a watermelon. They elect a watermelon queen.
That's crazy. I thought you were about to say they elect the watermelon that they're going to drop, and that's like the opposite.
That'd be great.
Yeah, it's like the opposite of like on Thanksgiving when the president pardons 2 turkeys. They're like, no, this is the watermelon that's going to die.
No, yeah. Instead, it's Biden picks the turkey and then very violently beheads them on television. But yeah, so apparently there is a watermelon queen. It has occasionally been a male who has been the watermelon queen.
Okay.
Or I also do the same for pumpkins too, I guess, if it's like closer to Halloween. That'd be fun. Also,
so do they do one like per semester then?
I guess so. Or maybe they just do them both at the same time. Just get all the dropping fruit out of the way.
That way the guy only has to go to the top of the building once.
This poor guy who has to clean up after they drop the watermelon in the middle of the square.
Yeah. Who gets to drop it? Is it the queen?
Yeah, I would think the queen gets to drop it.
I would love that. That's cool.
You're saying you want the queen to drop a melon?
I'm going to be the prettiest girl at the watermelon festival.
Imagine being the that'd be if there are any watermelon queens.
Yeah, please let us know how that was. That's Honestly, so like, I still don't get why there was like a
Watermelon
homecoming court for college, because it was just a bunch of people I didn't know, or like I
Yeah.
guess like only frat people knew them. So I thought it was kind of useless. But like the Watermelon Queen sounds really cool, and like you would actually want to do that. I've never felt the urge to be like, oh, I was on the homecoming court in college. Like nobody cares. There's, apparently 40,000 people here. Like,
if you're the homecoming king of like a university that big, it's literally just like,
yeah,
who knows you? Who knew you?
yeah. They're like, oh, the person receiving the most votes. I was like, I never even got the option to vote for them. Like,
I wrote myself in. Thank
yeah.
you. Could you just imagine that? What if you're not happy with the election of the Watermelon Queen?
Oh God.
Are they going to stop the steal?
Stop the count.
They stop the melon.
Yeah.
Actually, instead of as they drop the melon, they throw a mattress underneath it to make sure it doesn't break.
Yeah.
Actually, I also hope they just like drop like a trampoline and then the watermelon just comes shooting straight back up.
Oh no. It's like that video. There's somebody like pulling a watermelon in a slingshot.
Oh my God!
Yeah, and then they let it go, and it goes, and then all of a sudden the slingshot gets turned around, and it comes back right in their face.
Yeah, you know what that was too? I think it was The Amazing Race.
Oh no!
I think it was The Amazing Race that happened on. That also made of all the things, Pardon the Interruption does turkeys of the year for Thanksgiving, and that woman was the woman.
No. The turkey of the year.
Oh, she was nominated for it. I think it was like watermelon eater or something like that.
Jeez.
And after they were like, "Look at this," and then it hits her, and they're just like, "Boom, shakalaka laka."
Dang.
Also, I could imagine that probably gives you a concussion.
Yeah, I would love an unhinged like watermelon eating contest for that.
Now we're back on Badlands again.
Yeah, it all comes back to competitive eating. I promise you. Like I said, I'm very upset that there wasn't at least one competitive eater that I found that was an alumni of UC Irvine, because their mascot, or that like the short term on their uniforms was like eaters or something. I would love for UC Irvine to have a competitive eating team. That would be funny.
So apparently the most watermelon ever eaten in one sitting is, let's see, a guy ate a 15-pound watermelon in 23 minutes and 7 seconds.
Jeez. That sounds like
disturbing.
A lot, but it also sounds like Joey Chestnut warms up to that.
I do want to know. I want to know the clarification on on a 15-pound watermelon. Are they saying that the stuff inside it weighs 15 pounds? Or are they counting like the
rind?
Whatever, the rind, yeah.
You
don't eat the rind.
No, unless they make you for that challenge, and then you're
I think you got to eat the rind.
Why did I sign up to do this?
Would the rind hypothetically even do anything to you? I doubt it.
I'm not sure. It might just be tough to both chew and to digest. But I think so. One of the weirdest things that I've ever seen somebody do with a watermelon. Have you ever seen the burgers that they make with watermelons?
Oh, I have. I've seen it on Hell's Kitchen that people like grill watermelons.
Yeah. Oh, if I ever go to a barbecue or a cookout or anything, and I bite into a burger and it's a watermelon, I'm fighting somebody.
I might leave. I might just leave.
That's my worst fear, honestly.
Speaking of watermelon, apparently the world record for smashing watermelons with your head out, this is an open hand, was 39 in 1 minute.
Wow.
There is one where there is a guy who just uses his head. Oh, let's see. Oh yeah, the most watermelon smashed with the head in 1 minute is 49.
Jeez, talk about a CTE for that.
Like you're just like slamming your head into a watermelon.
Yeah, having having a world record is cool and all, but not at the expense of having to like beat my head against 49 watermelons.
Yeah, yeah, you come back. I'm like, how would it go, honey? Who are you?
Yeah. All you see is watermelons. You're like, they're everywhere.
I'd say, honey, I don't want to get the knife dirty again. Can you come here for a second?
Yeah. So when you grew up in Pennsylvania, was there like a specific way to eat watermelons, or did you just like eat them like normal people?
Pretty much normal. I mean, in the summertime, it usually would be off the rind.
Yeah.
In the fall, well, if it was like wintertime and we had them, then we would usually just cut them off the rind and then just dice them.
Did you ever like put anything on the watermelon?
I've never put anything on it.
Okay. So I know where I grew up, there was a lot of people who put two things. One is salt on watermelons.
I've done that before, just out of curiosity.
And like that's not as bad because
I mean, that's something normal.
Yeah, I've done it with tomatoes, and it really does. It brings out the flavor because the salt dries up all the water and leaves the more flavorful stuff behind. The next one, though, is a little bit more unhinged. Have you ever
like mustard?
Yeah, mustard. It's mustard.
Oh God, that sounds disgusting.
Yeah, I don't know. I tried it once, and like there was a part of me that was like, "Wow, you kind of want to try this again." But I think I used a little too much mustard because I lost the watermelon flavor in it, and it was all just yellow mustard. But if you can get the right ratio, there's a large group of people around here, at least. Maybe it's a Southern thing. Maybe it's just a Kentucky thing. I don't know. But there's a large group of people that will put yellow mustard on their watermelon.
That sounds completely vile. What if I just thought of this. What if we combined forces and had like the watermelon queen like get involved in like the world's largest like game of dodgeball or just like pillow fight?
Yeah. Jeez. With watermelons?
Yes, with the guy breaking the watermelons with his head.
It's just a watermelon in a pillowcase, and they're like, "Yeah, this is legal. This is a pillow. You could sleep on this."
I just want to see like the costume. If they brought like a mascot costume, it's just a watermelon.
I love that.
There's no eyes, not even like a dopey cartoon face on it.
They just love the country song, the Watermelon Crawl.
or more recently, just Watermelon Sugar.
Oh yeah.
By the way, that was like the most overplayed song ever for a short period of time.
Yeah, I agree. He makes some other good music. I really like music for a sushi restaurant, mostly because the horns. But yeah, it's Harry Styles and Watermelon Sugar was overplayed for a little bit.
Oh, by the way, I did a Google search just now and just saw the yellow mustard. It just looks gross.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It's like, who thought of that? I want to find the first person that looked at a beautiful slice of watermelon and was like,
you know what this needs?
Yeah, I'm a sucker for yellow mustard.
Yeah, we're gonna put yellow mustard on something that's already like just good.
Yeah.
Are you a seedless or a seed or seedless?
I go for seedless, but if there's seeds in it, it's not going to keep me from eating it. I'm just going to have to do some extra work and pick them out.
I like the old rumor that if you just swallowed a watermelon seed, that it would just grow in your stomach.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I like the cartoons that will like eat a slice of watermelon and then spit the seeds out like bullets.
I remember a scene from Rugrats. It was Chucky Finster ate a watermelon seed, and then like as a nightmare, they just had like entire watermelon just growing in his stomach.
That's horrible.
That's also like if you're like a little kid watching it, it's like nightmare fuel.
I know that. Jeez.
Then again, Nickelodeon '90s shows were completely they were just so unhinged.
Yeah, no, that's definitely sounds like par for the course for them. Maybe a little mild too.
I mean, considering my favorite one is my favorite '90s Nickelodeon cartoon is Rocko's Modern Life.
Yeah.
Maybe one of the more unhinged of them. Definitely not the most, because Ren and Stimpy is like the most unhinged thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, and then you've got cartoons like Cow and Chicken, where one of the characters is like a literal devil.
Yeah. The wasn't like the devil cow just like, wasn't it like caked up too?
Oh yeah, hardcore.
It's very.
I believe that's Cartoon Network and not Nickelodeon, but still, they would have been on air at the same time, just different networks.
Which is weird how like very oddly sexual they were trying to make this cow.
Yeah, same thing for him in Powerpuff Girls.
Oh God, not him. Him was Loki like a very good evil character.
Yeah. The voice for him was yeah, I know. I want to know who voiced that character and like how much warm up they had to do to nail that every time.
I just love how I just searched out who voiced him.
Yeah.
Powerpuff Girls.
And if they used auto-tune.
I think you have to. Or you have to modulate it somehow. Let's see. A guy by the name of Tom Kane voiced him. I was kind of curious who else he voiced.
I didn't write them down. There was a famous alumni from one of these three schools. My bad for not writing them down, but they were a voice actor for several animes. And a few of them that I had watched, I think they voice acted for a character called Frankie on One Piece. And I haven't met Frankie yet, but I'm working through One Piece right now to get to that spot.
Oh, I'm looking at Tom Kane's voice work. He voiced Darwin Thornberry from the Wild Thornberries.
Checks out.
Which he only did that for the movies. He didn't do it for. It looks like he didn't do it for the show. Although maybe he, yeah, I would imagine he probably did do it for the show too. Let's see. He voiced Doctor Doom in one of the in one of the old Spider-Man.
That's great. Doctor Doom is one of my favorite MCU villains. Just because of how like OP and powerful he is. Doctor Doom is awesome.
He was the voice of the announcer on Cow and Chicken.
There we go.
Somehow this all becomes.
It all comes back.
This all comes full circle. Let's see. He was also Professor Utonium on Powerpuff Girls.
Wow. Okay. That's some big roles.
Did you ever watch Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends?
Yep.
He was Mr. Harriman.
Okay.
The old bunny guy.
Yeah, that's funny. I haven't seen that show in forever. I gotta find out where I can stream it and watch it. Probably
Max, I would imagine.
Yeah, Max does have a lot of good like Cartoon Network stuff.
Also, I did not know that he voiced this guy. Did you ever watch? Have you ever watched the show Archer?
Loosely, I've seen bits and pieces. I have not seen like full episodes of Archer.
He's the voice of Archer's butler.
Oh, nice.
Who's also like he's also like a heroin fiend.
Oh God.
And then one last one, just because it's funny. He's also the voice of Dr. Doomis from the Boondocks.
Oh,
I don't even remember Dr. Doomis. I'll have to look that up later because I'm sure that's a wild one.
Yeah, that's gonna spark a rewatch of Boondocks for sure.
I'm even looking at the character and I do not recognize this guy. So anyway, with UC San Diego.
Yeah, going back to what this podcast is about.
Yes,
but we do also like to have fun here.
Also related to Chicken and Cow, apparently the dining that is at UC San Diego was voted by PETA as the most vegan friendly.
Oh God.
Which is very, given what we just talked about a minute ago, is very strange.
Yeah, that like I don't know, that makes me feel like the food's not that good. Like,
Although,
I'm sure the people that work there work very hard, and I'm not trying to discredit their efforts. But if you're a cafeteria and you get sponsored by PETA, I'm gonna be like, I might eat somewhere else.
I know they like try to make a big deal. They try to make the big deal out of like the vegan menus and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like even like the what was it
Impossible.
the Impossible Whopper. I know people say
Yeah.
that it tastes exactly like. I'm like, no, I guarantee it doesn't.
Have you ever had one?
I have not.
So I've had one, and while I agree it doesn't taste exactly like a Whopper, it's not bad.
Is
Like,
it is at least pretty close
it's close.
or reasonably close?
It's reasonably close. I'll give them that. So the impossible stuff is not like inedible. I enjoyed it when I had it, but it is not one of those things that I order often at all. It was kind of like a one-off thing,
Yeah, you're not searching it out.
right?
Um, so at least some of the athletic stuff. So they've only been D1 for a little bit. So they became D1 in 2017, or at least began that transition from D2 to
Okay.
D1. Do you have anything else on UC San Diego before we get to the alumni?
Oh no. Not before alumni. Isn't La Jolla Beach? Isn't that the one with all the sea lions?
Yes, I believe so.
I'm sure there's lots of beaches with sea lions in California. That's what I've never been to California, but from what I've read about it online and seen on TV, I think La Jolla has like a whole bunch of sea lions. And that makes me want to go so bad because I love animals, and I would just honestly I could just sit there at the beach and watch the sea lions all day.
Yeah, sure enough. I searched La Jolla sea lions, and there's like a whole lot of stuff on that,
Yeah.
including one that was just like someone who's like obviously like trying to get way too close to a sea lion.
Of course. Somebody's got to ruin it.
And the sea lion's like literally just like looks like it's barking at her to go away.
Oh yeah. I want to know how awful it is to sit there and like just listen to the baying and barking of sea lions all day.
When I was on Venice Beach, a couple had like gotten out of the water to get onto the to go onto the beach for a little bit.
Okay, that's cool.
Then and like the people who were like on the beach like set cones like are like kind of near them, so people would leave them alone.
That's cool. Unless it's like the perspective of the sea lion and you just see these like creatures from the land all of a sudden start to put these
stuff
like
around
bright
you.
orange things around. Oh, like we're trapped. Like they obviously this is some magic. They put like we can't pass.
Okay, so at least I'll start with some of their famous alumni. The first one that I liked, well, one of the first ones that I liked was Billy Beane, the general manager of the Oakland Athletics.
Yeah,
he was also the subject of the
great.
He was also subject of the movie Moneyball.
Moneyball. Yeah, that's such a great last name, Bean.
William Bean.
William Bean. It's time to play beanball.
That'd be very. Imagine if he had a daughter and she became the watermelon queen.
Oh no. Something Bean, the watermelon queen.
Everyone, please welcome Billy Bean and the Watermelon Queen.
That sounds like a really good band.
It sounds like
or maybe a very bad band.
It sounds like a 90s like alternative band.
Oh yeah. It's like the
because there's King Lizard and the Gizzard Wizard.
The Gizzard Wizards, yes. That's the word that I was trying to come up with. I was like, I know there's like lizard and gizzard in this title, but I'm gonna butcher it.
Oh wait, it's King Lizard and it's King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, I believe is what it is.
Jeez.
What a name. Let's see, who else do we have here? We have Nick Woodman. He's the founder of CEO of GoPro.
Oh wow.
Which I've heard those have done pretty. I've heard that's done pretty well.
Yeah, I've never actually owned a GoPro myself, but I really want to. Mostly to I like the videos of like people who put GoPros on sticks or strap them to their dog somehow and like let the dog run around, and that footage
those
is
are
always
kind
like
of fun.
Yeah, very heartwarming. So I want to do that with my dog.
I have Benicio del Toro.
Yeah.
Who else do we have? I have two more. Some guy named Mike Judge. I don't know if he's done anything.
Yeah, he was one of the ones I had written down too. Co-creator of one of Ryan and I's favorite American animes.
one of the wildest shows.
Start puffing, boy.
Start puffing, boy.
Yeah.
I had one last person on here since I guess because of course this thing comes full circle. David J. Peterson, he's had a master's degree in linguistics, but he helped create the Dothraki and Valyrian languages from Game of Thrones.
Nice.
He also did some of the language work on Thor.
So I studied linguistics in college, and I almost got a master's degree as well until I dropped out of grad school because grad school is a scam. One of my professors...
Speak for yourself. Thank you. As someone with a master's degree.
Oh, yeah. One of my professors actually worked, I think he went to UCLA or something like that. He worked on making the language for Far Cry Primal.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah. So linguistics is cool. If you want to work on video game languages, there's definitely an avenue for that. Plenty of people have done it. But yeah, Mike Judge, he's the creator of Beavis and Butthead and the co-creator of King of the Hill.
Oh yeah, that's right. And both of those, from what I've heard, have done well.
Right.
Can we get a crossover of Beavis and Butthead and King of the Hill and just see how angry Hank Hill would be?
Yeah, I think that'd be really funny to see like Boomhauer interact with Beavis, because I feel like they kind of got that same like vocal tick of like you can't really understand what they're saying except for like every seventh word.
Or just have Dale Gribble just be involved in anything.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Did you have any other alumni?
No, that's all the big people that I had.
Yeah, I only had one more outside of what you had already listed. Andy Weir, or Weir, it's Weir. He is the author of a book called The Martian, which in 2015 got a movie by the same name with some really big actors. Matt Damon stars in that movie, and it is directed by Ridley Scott, who, if you don't know Ridley Scott, that's the director of Alien, and then Aliens as well. So Ridley Scott definitely knows their way around sci-fi space movies, and I appreciate their directing style for that.
Also, I oddly remember The Martian because the Golden Globes listed it as a comedy.
Really?
I don't think there's like any comedy really in that movie.
No, I think
no intentional comedy.
No, I think the only time there's ever like something that could be conceived as comedy is like the point where he's growing the potatoes or he's growing the plants on Mars, and he makes a comment about like, how do you think I fertilize them? And he's insinuating that his like poop is the fertilizer.
Oh, jeez. Did you have anybody else, or do we want to get into the basketball?
No, I think we can get into the basketball now. I could say more on Ridley Scott, but that's for another day, another story.
That's right.
Yeah.
So their head coach is Eric Olin, who's in his 11th season. He has only been at UC San Diego in his coaching career.
Okay.
So some loyalty, but you don't really see too much in the cold world of college athletics anymore.
That's true.
Their best season is they made the Sweet 16 of D2 in back-to-back years, and their last 2 years in Division II.
Wow.
So obviously they are not eligible for March Madness right now because of the NCAA's archaic rule that you have to be around for like 3 or 4 years or something like that until.
I think it's 4, which is way too long because that's an entire class of
Yeah,
like you're trying to get these kids to come play at your school, and then you're like, yeah, but the whole 4 years you're going to be here, like we're not eligible for the big dance, and that's hard to recruit.
it is, especially if you want to, which all schools want to do that, but to say, yeah, well, you can't because sorry, you wanted to play harder teams. So they won't be eligible for March Madness until next year. Last year they were 10-20, so not great, but could be better. It could be better.
Yeah,
and so far they're already off to. It already seems like they're off to a better start anyway.
Yeah, I'm looking at their right now. They're 5-4, so they're already halfway, and it's just barely December. They're already halfway to the wins they had last year.
Yes, yeah, they only have 2 major non-conference games left since they only have Pepperdine. They have to go to Pepperdine and go to Cal. So they have to go visit their mother school too. Hopefully they can beat down Cal.
Yeah.
Most of their team from last year is coming back. They have 9 guys returning. Their key players is basically their starting lineup because they've had the exact same starting lineup through all 9 of their games so far. Bryce Pope, Hayden Gray, Francis Nwau Corey, Ani Waniwa Tate Jones, your guy with his beautiful first name.
Yeah.
And Jerron Brooks. Otherwise, those 5, they basically only play 8 guys. So if they want to do anything, they got to get something from everybody.
Yeah, they got a bunch of guys with like long names.
I don't know why. I kind of do like seeing long names on the back of a uniform. I don't know why. Because I'd like to see how they fit all the letters on the back.
I know. I bet their equipment manager is like, another one? Really? Like, jeez. All right. We got to put like 40 characters on this one.
How's I supposed to? I didn't know I was supposed to have this many letters to fit on a jersey.
Yeah.
Like the craziest one for Kentucky when it was Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Oh, yeah.
And did you ever look at the back and the letters were like less than probably an inch apart?
Yeah. That's crazy.
And then the last thing I basically had on UC San Diego is that they got to get better at putting the ball in the basket, which seems to fix a lot of problems in basketball if you do that.
Yeah, fair enough.
So yeah, they got to get at least a better 3-point percentage, and they also got to get a better field goal percentage.
Right. Not to get all John Madden up in here, but the team that scores the most points is going to win the game.
That's what I've heard, is that the team that has the most points at the end of the game is usually undefeated.
Yeah.
And I think they might be undefeated, but I could be wrong. Do you have anything else on UC San Diego before we get into preview and picks?
No, I think that sums it up for me. I think tomorrow I have the day off. I think it warrants a rewatching of The Martian.
It's also going to be a busy basketball day too, because there's going to be like a million games. Tomorrow there's only one game, Bethesda and Northridge. So do we want to go into the preview for?
Yeah.
I guess next week. It's the last little bit of this week, and then next week.
Yeah. So starting off, today's Tuesday the 5th, Wednesday the 6th. We've got, like we said earlier, UC Riverside is going to Pullman to play Washington State.
Yeah, that may not. Well, hopefully it ends up good. But more than likely, probably will not be very good.
Yeah, that's the game of the most notable opponent. We got a few other good opponents. UC Davis is playing Nevada, and Fullerton's playing Pepperdine, and Santa Barbara's playing New Mexico. But whether or not those games will be on TV for streaming purposes. Probably not before the Washington State game.
Yeah, check ESPN Plus since most of them seem to be on there. Next week there's I mean we're gonna preview this more next week, but yeah, there's gonna be a nice little block of December 12th to the 14th where there are no games. And it's also the last of the conference schedule too. So you're gonna see some teams getting the last of like the Power 5 teams before they get to conference play right around New Year's.
Yeah. I'm excited for conference play. I can't wait.
I'm gonna be curious to see who's gonna challenge who.
Yeah.
Did you have any other games that caught your attention, or do we want to get to picks?
Caught my attention. Let's see, Saturday, Sunday. Keep a lookout for Long Beach State playing at USC on Sunday the 10th at 4 p.m. That's 4 p.m. Eastern. They already upset Michigan, and they broke that yo-yo pattern. So let's see if they can do it again against the USC, which has already had an upset against or been upset by a Big West team. So I like Long Beach State in that game. Probably not enough to become financially involved in it, but but be on the lookout. That's for sure.
Well, the spread is always involved too.
Yeah.
Other than that, you mentioned pretty much all the games that at least I was paying probably the most attention to. Because yeah, we're in the home stretch of the non-conference schedule, and then we'll see who's real and who's not.
Yeah, it'll be good for sure. We'll get to see who pulls away. Currently, there hasn't been a whole lot of change around like the top to bottom of the conference, so we'll see if we get some flip flops in there.
Yeah. So I should say now we should go to the picks to finish things up. I'll start off first. I am going to take as my home game. I am going to take. Let me make sure I have this right. I am going to take Cal State Northridge over Bethesda. Bethesda's been getting absolutely annihilated. Oh wait, I'm taking Bethesda against UC Santa Barbara. That's who I'm taking. Okay. Bethesda has not had the best luck, and I think UC Santa Barbara needs to get right, and I think they will take all of that out on poor Bethesda.
Yeah, that's a game with a high potential to get them into the 100-point club as well.
I would agree.
For my first pick, I'm taking Fullerton to beat the team that Long Beach State beat their yo-yo pattern with, and I'm going to take Fullerton to beat Sacramento State. And that game,
I like the sound of that.
Both my picks are going to be on Saturday, December 9th. That is an away game. Fullerton is playing at Sacramento State.
Very nice. As my last one, I'm going to take our boys over at UC Davis, and I'm going to take them over a team in I believe the WCC. They're going to beat Pacific, so they're going to march into Pacific and get a win there.
That's a good pick right there. High chance. My last pick of the day is going to be a home game. I'm also going to take UC Davis, but they get a visit from Milwaukee. Milwaukee currently sitting at time of recording, they're sitting at 3-5. UC Davis is 3-3. So I'm taking UC Davis to get their fourth win before Milwaukee does.
I like the sound of that. Any other housekeeping things to take care of now?
No,
we did air.
Yeah, we did it. we finished our segment on Meet Our Schools. So, whoa, when it comes to Sacramento State doesn't play basketball in the Big West, and when it comes to beach volleyball season, we'll do another Meet the School with them. But leave us a comment. Tell us on our socials. Tell us in person if you know us. Give us some ideas about what other segments to fill our time with. So we'll be doing some brainstorming, and we might come up with some stuff. We might try some stuff, trial and error, see what sticks on the air, and see what we want to stay away from. But we've got some space in our shows now that we need to fill, and we want your opinion on it.
Absolutely. So what I would say is like, subscribe, watch, resubscribe, make your friends subscribe. And with all that said, I am Ryan.
And I'm Lucas.
Like, subscribe, do all that stuff. So go out there, enjoy the beach, and enjoy the ball, folks.